Bars in a rain, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Kop End Fracas, powered by Touchline Media Group. I am your host, Krish, and today I'm joined by, I know I always say it, but I have actually got today an all-star cast of Kop End contributors. I've got Ellis, I've got Harold, and I've got Peter. Gentlemen, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening as we're recording?
Shalom, all is well. How are you, sir?
I'm right, you know.
No, Krish, no.
Shalom, brother.
Ellis just
okay,
said shalom.
Shalom.
No. When have you ever done that? When have you ever taken a shot like that? When have you ever practiced that, Ellis?
What's wrong with me? That's shalom, isn't it? Hey, I'm a man at peace. Top four, I'm a man at peace.
Yeah, the Champions League got man acting mad. But I'm happy to have Harold back, man. It's been a long time, Harold, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Sorry, guys. Life just going away, but I'm glad to be back at a perfect time as well.
It'd be that way sometimes, man. It'd be that way, but glad to have you back, bro. Good to have the cast on as always. Talk about all things LFC. The season has ended, but before we do kick into gear and start this podding that we love to do so much. The season might have ended, but the Kop End Fracas content does not end. The drought is not coming. If you are a Patreon subscriber, I mean, you can tell the people what you've already gained and what you can be expecting, but I'll do the talking for you. From just a little over £3 a month, you can get a wealth of current Kop End Fracas content, and of course, all the stuff we've got planned throughout the Euros, throughout the summer. We're going to be covering transfers. We'll be covering squad rebuilding. AOB, you name it, we've got it. And again, just for a little £3 a month, you'll get access to all of that. So just head over to www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas and subscribe today. You won't regret it. So, gents, it's been a mad season, isn't it? It's been a weird old season when you think about it. It feels like it's gone on for the better part of 7 years. I've aged tremendously. When this pod started, I was a man with short hair, and now I look like the road warrior from Mad Max. So that's happened. But this season has come to an end, and Liverpool came out 2-0 winners at home to Crystal Palace, and somehow ended up third in the league. When a few weeks ago we were in 8th place, which is funny. Had us all down in the dumps. Had Harold tweeting about the Lakers. Had Fahy tweeting about R&B music. Had Ellis just tweeting wreck. I became a full-time WWE account. It was some rough times, man. It was some really, really rough times. But let's start off with the game we're going to talk about. We'll talk about the end of the season, the run we went on a little bit later in the pod. But 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace. We had the fans back in the ground. And Els, I'll come to you first and foremost. How nice was it to see Anfield back roaring and the players really getting a little bit of an extra boost at this late stage of the season from that crowd as well?
Yeah, it was nice, man. Heard all songs, heard a raw after them. You Never Walk Alone. The songs, every player getting their songs. Georginio Wijnaldum, Mane, Salah, amongst others. So yeah, it was nice, man. It kind of felt like the feeling was being restored a little bit. Nature was healing and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was good. It was good to see, man.
Definitely added an extra dimension to the game, that is for sure. And of course, Liverpool came out 2-0 winners. Harold, I'll come to you. Didn't seem really troubled throughout the game, in all honesty. There was that one chance that Andros Townsend had in the first kind of phase of the game, which hands were really on hearts. Real shocking moment there as we thought it was all going to crumble beneath our eyes. But it was a very controlled performance and something we've come to expect in these latter few games of the season.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's been quite reminiscent of a few games that we've had recently where we always look like we're in control. It's like we're in the ascendancy. It always look like the game is within our control. However, without trying to do any disservice to our centre half, it does look like they don't provide the greatest of confidence to us when we're watching. It looks like we're always susceptible to one opportunity. Like we saw that against West Brom. When Robson Kanu got his goal, it was just like a defensive lapse from Reece Williams. Obviously, I know he's come from Kidderminster, bless him, but that's the kind of thing that we don't really give those chances away. So I just feel like I'm always a bit on edge, despite how well Thiago may control the midfield, despite how well Salah may play, Trent may play. I just feel like this one ball over the top, like Chris Wood was getting in behind. Chris Wood was playing on the shoulder. Like that is insane. I can't believe those words have actually come out of my mouth. But yeah, anyway, let me not.
Man, you all criminally underrate Chris Wood.
I
Quality
mean,
footballer.
I mean, but yeah, it was very much in that vein. So like our last 10 games, we've won 8, we've drawn 2. We've been on the best run that we had since the start of the season. We're on the best current form in the Premier League. We've played brilliantly. We've won games. Actually, I said we haven't played brilliantly. We've just won games. Certain players have played much better than others. But yeah, like go back to this game against Palace. Reminiscent of games in the past, but I'm just fortunate that we shut up shop. Our goalkeeper was good when we needed him to be. Fortunately, Townsend didn't have his shooting boots on him because he had another opportunity as well, if I'm not mistaken, that Ali tipped over just from a free kick as well. So look, I'm not gonna dig out anyone. I'm just happy we're not even in the top 4, in the top 3, which is insane. So look, no complaints for me. It was a professional performance, and I'm happy to see Mane at the double as well.
Completely agree. You do kind of get that little bit of a when you see the centre, but not like a cat, like how I did it there, like a cat hissing there, but you kind of have that little kind of when you see the centre backs on the ball. There are some moments where they kind of do play themselves into trouble, and you're just thinking, just someone please hoof it up front for the love of God. But yeah, no, very professional performance. And Peter, I'll come to you. We touched on the Liverpool crowd earlier, giving a bit of a boost to some of the players. And I think one of the players he gave a massive boost to was Sadio Mane, as Harold mentioned. He gets 2 goals in this contest, and I don't know what got into him in this game, but we had shades of the old Mane. How impressed were you with him in this final game of the season?
Yeah, I was definitely very, very impressed with Mane and his performance. To be honest, he's had quite a good month. I see today that he's nominated for Player of the Month along with Alisson, and like obviously he's had let's say a tough season, and him and Firmino have come quite clutch in this period. So we were quick to give them like whatever kind of grief when they were in the down period. So we have to kind of give them praise as well in this period because they're kind of clutch with couple goals, his goal against Southampton, his 2 goals today. So yeah, no, definitely. He's been really good. Also, like I think with Mane, his style kind of lends to having fans in the stadium. So in terms of receiving the ball, going past players, like when fans will cheer you on, when you do that. Same with Firmino. Firmino obviously will have nice touches, and the fans that gets fans out of the seats, So they're gonna hear the chants or shouts of the fans, and they're gonna be a lot more like it's gonna kind of boost them when they're playing, Whereas I feel like Salah's game is a lot more like not robotic, but like he's more like he's a killer, He's gonna get his goals regardless. But their styles kind of lend to having fans in the stadium with Firmino and Mane.
Can I play devil's advocate? I don't think Mane was that good. I want to play devil's advocate. That was such a frustrating performance from Mane, and I think I'm happy he got his 2 goals. Look, that because before that chance where he scores from the corner, I mean, I'd like to think one of our best players wouldn't miss from about 2 yards out, right? So well done for the corner. The second goal was a deflection. It was about to be saved by the Palace goalkeeper. His name his name I've forgotten.
Guaita.
Guaita, that's it. Generally, he's just a bit frustrating. Like he takes a bit too long, very laboured, very relaxed in his own time. Look, fair enough, he got his 2 goals. And like I said, I'm trying not to dig anyone out, but I'm just trying to be honest also. I don't think it was that great of a performance, in my own personal opinion. It's going to sound crazy, but even though he didn't score, and Mane got 2, I think Salah had a better game than him, if talking about overall performance. But I'm happy to be on the ledge on my own in that sense and be a bit of a contrarian in that sense.
I understand where you're coming from, but my rebuttal to that is kind of like he's more of a nuisance so I would say the right back had a lot more worse time coping with Mane than probably the left back did with Salah, in terms of Mane is literally just constantly just on his neck. Even though he's making wrong decisions, he's falling over the ball, he's back cleaning it when he shouldn't be.
Hey, yo, now that McGeady spin, yeah? Oh my days, that killed me.
But like he's our ball carrier in terms of he gets us into the penalty box when it's not a cross. You know what I'm saying? So he's just always a constant nuisance, and like he was doing the same thing last season, and that's him. You know what I'm saying? But because he's getting the goals, you kind of ignore it. But when he's not, the goals are all dried up. these like little things that he's doing, it's a lot more noticeable. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just think obviously now goals literally patch anything up. You see that with Bruno, you see that with everyone. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he looks a lot more sharper. Obviously, he's got a level to go up, but I think fans definitely help him and his style for sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think when you we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, but I think when you talk about criminally disrespected and underrated players, there's only one person to look at really, and it's Mohamed Salah. He was awarded Liverpool's Player of the Season this year, rightfully so, because if we were without Mohamed Salah this season, we wouldn't even be in the gutter. We would be in the sewers with the shit, and heading into a fatberg of even more shit, which would
apparently it would be better according to David James.
Well, why are you listening to David James for?
Apparently,
that's your first problem.
You know, like what? I don't know what are they seeing. Like, what are they actually seeing? I don't get it,
brother. Don't listen to David James.
What is he seeing? Like, man, I'm just talking to talk.
Yeah, literally.
Don't listen to David James. You listen to Ellis and Harold. Okay, you don't listen to David James anymore. You listen to these two brothers right here. They give you all the information that you want. Okay. I did think it was quite interesting, though. I did see some people in the comments when Salah got awarded Player of the Season saying, "How come it wasn't Nat Phillips?" I was thinking, well, why would it be Nat Phillips? Mohamed Salah's played the whole season. So, yeah, I know, Harold. I had the exact same face. I was in a work call when I saw it as well, and I was like, what? He bleeds red, apparently. Who knew? But Els, I'll come to you on Mo Salah. You know, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, if you are watching on YouTube, criminally disrespected and underrated. That's not only just by members of the footballing world, but I think it's by members of the so-called Liverpool family as well. You know, I did in inverted commas there. What's some of the words and the descriptions that you can come up with when you think about Mo Salah?
Brilliant, exceptional, cut above the rest. Different kettle of fish, superstar, wonder of a left foot. I can go on and on for days. Tenacity, his will to win goes beyond what we know. Yeah, it's not even a funny one. It's just a weird one. Like, you see a guy who's come in here 4 years, he's bagged about 100+ goals, which nobody has done. And you think about all the wonderful forwards we've had during that period, your Torreses, your Suarezes, Sturridge, whoever, they haven't hit 100 goals. But here comes a guy who let's be honest, majority of us were like, Salah, like, sure we can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's come and just hit the ground running. First season, 32 goals, got whatever he got, 20, 21. This season again, 22 goals. His footballing brain is elite. Playmaking ability, elite. I mean, what else do you want from a man who's doing all of that? People said that he's too greedy. Why would you want a forward to be greedy? I mean, he gets into the box. What do you want to do? Pass all the time. That's such a lazy comment. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you, Krish. He's criminally underrated, and he's disrespected. And like I was saying in the group chat a few months ago, it's harder to replace his goals than anything. Like, people say, oh, you can replace it. You can just do. No, you can't. You can't just do that. It's very, very hard to replace someone who scores at that frequent level. So yeah, it's one of those things where you only know what you miss when it's gone. And when he does leave, because he's not going to be here forever, when he does leave, we're going to be like, oh, damn, man, we could have done with Salah there. I wish we had Salah's pace to go in behind. Oh, man, if Salah was there, he would have scored. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should just appreciate him now. And, yeah, just appreciate him before he goes. Like you said, we would have been in the gutter. We would have probably been with Arsenal, if not for his goals, to be fair. We would have probably been 8th, 9th, chilling with Arsenal in the pits of Hades. You know what I'm saying?
In the pits of Hades, indeed. What a metaphor there by Ellis. That is brilliant. Greek mythology.
We would have been there. Remember Hercules with the guy with the blue flame? What's his name? The guy with the blue flame, bro. with a blue flame on their hair, from I forgot his name in Hercules, the cartoon. But we'd have been chilling with him, bruv, because that's where it would have been, if not for his goals. I mean, to score 22 goals in a team that wasn't playing well, it's testament to his ability and the type of player he is, man.
I couldn't put it by myself. And Harold, I'll come back to you. You talked about kind of unheralded performances. There we go. We've come up with a new metaphor there. A lovely new description for you. I think if you think about him, he's a cut above the rest. And like you said, that performance at the weekend, again, unheralded. Just everything he did was with a determination and a grit to kind of get the team forward and press for higher as well. Put it into words how you thought his performance was at this weekend.
I thought it was. Do you know what? I thought it was great. I can't say it was brilliant because he needed to score. And he had opportunities to score. I think he played great. But even though he scored, how many goals did he get this season? 22? 22 league goals? 22. Ridiculous. 22 league goals. Remember, this was a team that couldn't create chances for a long time. So still got his 22, didn't he? And I was gutted. I'm absolutely gutted for the fact that he didn't get his golden boot. Because I wanted to walk around and say, it's Mohamed Salah, 3 golden boots in 4 years. Like, unbelievable. But unfortunately, I think Kane obviously deserved it. So congrats to him. In terms of his performance, I think that's the only thing that's probably there's 2 things that make people underrate Salah, right? So the first is that his goal conversion. It's poor. Even the season where he broke the record in 17-18, scored 32 Premier League goals, like Ellis said, he was up there in terms of missed chances with Christian Benteke. That's Mohamed Salah. However, people don't realize that the top strikers also have very similar record. Robert Lewandowski has a very similar record also. Harry Kane misses quite a lot of chances also. They take a lot of shots. Salah's chances look more gilt-edged, right? Liverpool are a bigger team. No one really watches the Bundesliga year in, year out, week in, week out, rather. So that's the first thing. I'll rebuttal that claim. Second of all, he's not the most attractive footballer to watch at all. It's like the ball bumps off of him, almost not as probably a bit like Suarez. Remember, like, the ball used to just bump off of him every time. Like it does not make it seem like they were so forced. Like he would like boot it through your legs. Like we just force it through every time. With Salah, it's never the most aesthetically easy for me to say pleasing display, but what he does well, and that is score goals and create chances for other people to score. Yeah, I think he only got 4 Premier League assists this year or something like that, which is really, was it 4 or 6? I can't remember.
5, I think it's 5.
Was it 5? Okay, I'm in the middle. So he got 5 Premier League assists this year, which is well below what he's used to. But and that we can say a lot of people were missing their own chances as well this year. So I want to understand the reasons why people don't really rate him as highly as they should, but I can't, because his goals, they talk for himself. Like, he is honestly outrageous. Just look at his intensity as he runs with the ball. He's always wants to do something. Even in the 80th, 90th minute, he's on your case. Never lets the defender rest. Always on your case. The only man I've ever known to do a good job on him is Luke Shaw. And Luke Shaw is a man who can match him for pace, probably match him for strength. Not many other fullbacks can do that. So Mohamed Salah, mate, absolutely fantastic. I don't want you to go anywhere. Another brilliant season, and and you can see it in his heart. Like, you see him in his conditioning. He's always ready, always looking to go that step further. He has that killer in him, the killer that we're talking about. He wants to be the best of the best, and you saw it against Palace on the weekend. Mane's on a hat trick. He should have squared it. He still had to make an opportunity for him to shoot. But that's Mohamed Salah. We can't want anything else. If he was any different, he may not be getting the kind of goals that he's getting year in, year out. So, mate, another fantastic season, deserved player of the year, in my honest opinion. And I can't wait to see what he does next year.
Yeah, it just feels like there's always another level to go with Mohamed Salah. Like you said, Harry Kane has the golden boot, but he'll never have the streets. That's what he'll never have. He'll never have the streets. Never, Harry. You'll never have them. Peter, you get the absolute joy to talk about this man right here. As you can see it going across the ticker on the bottom of our screen, Mr. Thiago Alcantara. People were quick to kind of say, oh, he's a flop. He's a flop. He's going to be a flop at Liverpool. Look at him. He can't tackle properly, blah, 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 blah. As we've come into this nice little stretch of games that we ended the season on, 10 games unbeaten. I mean, 10 games unbeaten, 8 wins, 2 draws. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later. one of the key people to kind of not even pull us across the line, but just do it in such nice finesse and fashion is Thiago Alcantara. How much of a joy is it to watch him play week in, week out? And how much of a joy has it been in these last 4 games of the season to see him kind of do his wizardry on the football pitch?
Yeah, for sure. I think with what Harold was saying, that Salah's not aesthetically pleasing. Thiago's the complete opposite. Everything he does is aesthetically
Everything
pleasing.
is sauce, bro. Everything is sauce.
Every single flip, even like the past 5 yards next to him, it's still gonna look good. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does looks good, but even just past that, I think I can remember from like the Arsenal game when Fabinho comes into midfield, he just looked so good since then. And I think he even said after the RB game in the Champions League, where he was like, when Fabinho's next to me, that like you can feel like he feels much more confident and he's able to play. You know what I'm saying? So I think we've just seen him come at his show more, and he's able to kind of do what he does best. So in terms of controlling the game, you know what I'm saying, finding the forwards, breaking the lines. In the amount of times he breaks the lines to Mane, like it's actually a joke. Like Mane, he's almost like he's getting used to it, but he almost wasn't used to the amount of times like Thiago's able to find him. Like he just fizzes it into him, straight into his feet, and then sometimes Mane's touch might be out, or sometimes Mane might use it. You know what I'm saying? But Thiago, he's been fantastic. Like, and it's no surprise that when we started to play people in their right position, so we started to play centre backs and centre back, Fabinho in, you know what I'm saying, in the pivot by himself, and Thiago in his rightful position, he started to look much better. You know what I'm saying? Like against West Brom, that's literally like a masterclass. Like the performance he done against West Brom, he was balling out beyond control, honestly, and he's been so good. So I think Liverpool fans, we can be excited by when even more pieces come. So when you have like the likes of Van Dijk coming back, Gomez coming back, even Henderson coming back, like he's going to look even more stronger because again, our team's going to look more solid. Our base is going to be stronger, and he's not going to have to worry about doing the stuff that he's probably not the best at. And so in terms of covering large spaces, tackling, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm so excited to see what Thiago brings next season because these last couple of games he's been doing well. And I think the biggest compliment I can give him is that when you watch the team now, yeah, there's like 2 or 3 people that when they demand the ball, they get it. So when Trent demands the ball, you give it to him. You know what I'm saying? There's no arguing, you give it to him. And then Thiago's now become, in such a short space of time, everyone gives the ball to Thiago. Even man like Robertson has it. Robertson's been like in the team for like 2 to 3 years. He'll give it to Thiago straight away when he demands it. Like Thiago, they give the ball to him and they trust him with it and they know he's gonna make something happen. And I think there's only 1, 2 people on our team that they have that kind of like claim. So Thiago's one of them, and yeah, I have to give praise to him because he's been fantastic in this period.
Also, I wanted to add a little. I wanted to telco onto that, Pete. Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. Like, what I love most about Thiago, I think we don't really have in any of our other midfielders. He is at every opportunity, even if it means he might give the ball away, he's always trying to go forward. Always trying to go forward. Anywhere on the pitch, he could be in his corner flag. He's like, listen, I can't go back to the keeper. No, I could be pending. I'm going to try and do something. I'm going to try and get a foul. Always looking to go forward. So many times, like against West Brom, I think it was like, I was like, do you know when early in the season we're really struggling to break down the low block? You know, like, wow, guys, we really can't do anything. There's 6 home losses in a row that we had early in the season. We looked like we were going to score. Like, we were always on the impetus. Like, Thiago was at the heart of it all. He dictated those games, and he really did show his worth in these the last 6 weeks or so. He's just been brilliant. I've been so impressed with him. I just love the fact he's always forward looking, and that's just something we don't have. And that is part of the reason why we brought him in. Yeah,
I'll just quickly add on to what you're saying, Harold. I remember we had this discussion in the group chat where his best position lies. And I remember saying that, well, we want him closer to the forwards, as close as possible. Some people said, no, they want him deeper in the role because he can see the pitch bigger. I said, no, it's not like that. With like what you're saying, who is a forward-thinking player, you want him as close to the forwards as possible so that he can fizz that ball quickly and get them going. And you can see that again when Henderson comes back with Fabinho, adding more protection to behind him, it will give him so much freedom to go forward and cause so much mayhem. On Twitter, I said, boy, man, better be ready next season because it's long for everyone, bro. Because once he starts going, bro, it's long. With our defenders coming back, forget about it, man. 104 points. I said it.
104.
Ooh, Ellis.
That's what I said.
Ellis.
Man know me. Man know what my height is. Man know who I am.
I thought Marco wasn't on this pod today with the crazy shouts, but hey, Ellis has come today.
Ellis, are you for real?
I'm here. You know me, Harold. Come on, G.
Ellis is the most Yadar black man I've ever met in my life, man. I promise you.
Man know who I am.
Fuck what bro done. That's my jigger. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
No, Peter, please. Someone has to be the voice of reason here. Please.
As listeners, as you can tell, Alice has been on the Magnums from early. But hey, if you can, fair enough. But no, I mean, you see what Thiago is just so good at in the past few games, especially when you see the limitations of the centre backs that we've been working with in the past few weeks. You see Reece Williams and Nat Phillips battered and bruised in that game. I mean, Nat Phillips had his do-rag back on, the fabled Nat Phillips do-rag. Reece Williams had a few cuts above his eyes. Thiago was just kind of, I'll take the burden off you guys. I'll come, receive the ball, drive it 10, 15 yards of the pitch, and then make a killer pass. And some of the passes he was making in the game against Palace, I mean, good. He played one to Robertson, a diagonal, and I was like, good Lord. I was like, when he gets a full preseason in with some of these guys and they can really know what to expect from him in his passing and the wavelength, and they all kind of get on that same tune, because for me at the moment, he's kind of got that nailed down with Trent and Salah especially. So they had that really good interplay on that right-hand side. So they're really connected and they've got on that same wavelength. When the rest of the team know how to get on with him and some of the new signs we're expecting to come in as well, boy, it is long. It might not be 104 points long, but mate, it's gonna be scary for some of these teams we're playing against next season. Do have to say, quick shout out was Roy Hodgson's last game at the weekend. Okay, in honesty, true footballing gentleman. We'll miss him, but after everything he did at Liverpool, he can rest in peace. He dragged us into the depths of despair. We lost against Blackpool.
Krish, man.
Nah, man, fuck him still.
Krish, man.
No.
No.
I'm not having it. He embarrassed me in front of the host. That's how bad it was. Okay.
Hey, nah, man. Hey, Krish, man. He's an old man. Like he got his take. What? So he's
man. Nah. Klopp retired him like Shawn Michaels did Ric Flair at WrestleMania.
Let me rebut that, because I think personally.
Wait, now, Pete, before you go, can I just say these are the views and opinions of Krish and Krish only. They do not represent Kop End Fracas or Touchline Media Group. Sorry, Peter, please continue.
Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Krish just done the Undertaker. But yeah, Roy's had a really good career in terms of he's a good manager. Obviously, didn't work out with us, but he's done a really good job at Fulham, even before the Crystal Palace job. So the Fulham team with Danny Murphy, they got to the Europa League final. They didn't win it, but he's good. Like, he's a good mid-table manager. Again, in Crystal Palace were going up and down. They won championship, come back up, and they were like a yo-yo club. And he steadied the ship. Even at he's like 70, and then he's even bringing through the man them. You know what I'm saying? Brought through Zaha, brought through Eze, brought through Benteke. He's done his thing, man. Whatever. It doesn't work out sometimes with us, but yeah, hats off to him.
That's fair, but he had us in the pits, man. That's what I'm going to say.
Obviously, this is a Liverpool podcast, isn't it? And if we're going to talk from a Liverpool point of view, he did have us in the pits. It was the wrong appointment at the wrong time. Liverpool were a shadow of themselves. He was probably brought in to steady the ship. He was a man who thrived in an environment where he didn't have a lot of resources, and at that time we didn't have any resources. So the idea was, he will come in and he will again steady the ship. Well, it didn't work. He had the wrong mentality from what we were used to. He was saying the wrong things, played the wrong football. Yeah, it wasn't the marriage that worked well. But apart from that,
you're really selling it, Els.
Yeah, that boy media trend. But yeah, all the best to him. Obviously, he done his thing with Palace, and that got them to 11. He kept them in the league. Done well with Fulham, got them to 7th, got them to Europa League final and all that. So yeah, man, all the best, Uncle Roy.
That man said we weren't too good to get relegated, and I can't believe you're here defending him.
Hey,
You lot are bigger men than me in it, because nah. That was a dark period of my life, man. It was just it was not good. But from the dark times we go to the brighter times. We are in the Klopp era, thank God. And we ended with 10 wins. So not 10 wins. We were 10 games unbeaten to end this season. It truly is title-winning form when you look at it. 10 games unbeaten, 8 wins and 2 draws across that time. Really should have been 10 wins, in all honesty, considering the manner of which we dropped points against Leeds and Newcastle. The Newcastle one to this day will still frustrate me, even though we ended up in the best possible scenario. I just want to ask you guys, and Harold, will start with you. For this group of players to do it without some of the core guys within the team, no Virgil, no Gomez, no Henderson, no Jota for large parts of the season, an underwhelming Mane, an underwhelming Firmino, Thiago without large stretches of the season, Alisson going through personal issues. Can these guys really take the momentum from these last 10 games of the season and how they truly kind of turn the season up on its head and ended on the best possible note? Can they take this into pre-season next year and then kind of really run into next season in a positive manner to kind of get back to where they want to be, and that is challenging Man City for the title?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely can. I think one of the biggest things to take from this is it's been hugely character building. I think you can see the stature of these young men. Well, I say young men, these men in general growing. You can see their confidence growing. You can see the fact that, look, they faced adversity, and this is the embodiment of this football club that we all love. We go down a lot of times, unnecessarily more so. But what really makes us love this club is the spirit, it's the passion of how we respond to that. And just like in the 2005 Champions League final, just like in 2006 FA Cup final, just like in 2019 Champions League semi-final, I can go on. Just like the Europa League semi-final against Dortmund, wherever we go down, we face adversity, somehow, some way, we manage to pull it out of the bag. And I think that's really key, because these group of players haven't. Well, I say some of these players haven't had the opportunity to do that, or maybe some of these players have forgotten what that really means and forgotten the spirit that we have in this club. So it's great for that to be pressed home. We saw a man in Nat Phillips who really shouldn't have been in our club. He had a deadline day move, if I'm not mistaken, or something along those lines. I'm full through.
Yeah, so it was essentially all nailed on to go to Swansea.
Right.
So thank God that deal didn't go through.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just hugely character building. So now I think when we have some of our main guys coming in, obviously we've been linked with Konate. Hopefully he comes in all well and good. Virgil, obviously, Gomez coming back in, Hendo, our captain, coming back in. All of these guys coming back in, they already have that embodiment that I'm describing. But some of these new guys who may play some games here and there, they don't have to feel like they're out of place. They really feel like, yeah, I'm a big part of this team. I was one of the big reasons why we finished third. We finished third after we were so crap. Like, we were awful. Like, we were so bad. Like, it was absolute chaos. So yeah, I think that's one really big thing to take from there. And I can't wait to see the kind of moves we make. And I'm really just hoping FSC just shows some intention. They've shown it with our centre half getting that signed, sealed, and delivered so quickly. But now it's time for our forwards, and I think we all agree that we do need some changing there. But obviously, I won't get ahead of myself in that sense with the agenda on today's podcast. But that's what I'm really pressing home for. I just want to see everyone fit, ready to go. And yeah, I'm excited. One player in particular, I just wanted to say that I've just been so impressed by has been, obviously Thiago has been great, and obviously Ali has been good as well. And obviously Salah has, but Trent Alexander-Arnold has just been fantastic. Like, the way he strikes the ball is so flipping brilliant. Like, he is so great to watch. Every cross just looks like, it's like, oh my God, I'd hate to be defending this. Like, he always wants to make something happen, always on the front foot. And even now defensively, with one of his main things that we just said that, oh my gosh, he's so annoying, was like, he doesn't have the desire to defend. But we saw against West Brom, it was embodying that Liverpool desire, that spirit that we saw. You saw Reece Williams in that phase make a mistake. He was there sweeping up and covering. I honestly, just a few months ago, I would not have seen that from Trent. And it was just great to see him take the ball by its horns, like really take the grip of its neck. And he's just absolutely fantastic. I wanted to give him a little bit of a sectioned out praise because I absolutely love watching that young man play football.
Completely agree. I think since the first leg against Real Madrid, when he did have a bit of a mare, I think he's possibly comfortably been our best player since that point. You touched on the defending there. It's a lazy myth at this point, really, to say that Trent Alexander-Arnold is a bad defender. I mean, for us guys who watch the club week in, week out, we're more nuanced and we know more of these things. We don't have to look at the per 90 to kind of make an assumption on Trent's stats. But we've seen the desire come through. I think in the recent weeks, in the past few months, his positioning has been absolutely sensational. He's been in the right place. He's not really been caught out. And again, like you said, Harold, that desire to kind of get back, win the ball, and not be hindered by the lack of quality he's used to at centre back. Has been ever present, and of course he's been chipping in with assists and goals when needs be, and he's been absolutely sensational. And like you said again, Harold, embodies everything it means to be a Liverpool Football Club player. And long may continue into the future. Owls, I want to come to you for this. Harold touched on it a little bit earlier. How fucking funny is it that we finished third?
Bro, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Come at full time. I'm looking at the table. I'm thinking, how have we managed to just get third, bro? We've lost like 6 games at home in a row, and we're third.
In a row, man. In a row.
We drew to Newcastle and Leeds last minute, like joke, man.
You man,
we were cheeks.
You know what's crazy as well, guys? You know what I thought about as well? I tweeted it. Even if Alisson didn't score that last minute winner against West Brom, we still would have finished third.
Absolutely.
Tell me that's not insane. Tell me that is not a mad stat. Like. But I can't lie. I'm slightly annoyed that Chelsea didn't drop to Europa. I can't lie. Yeah, I was Leicester. Oh, it angers me. That would have just honestly. I think I might spontaneously combusted.
I'm very much looking forward to this week's Chelsea hour to see how they defend that because they are lucky. They are lucky. Gareth Bale came and saved them from getting cheeks with that. But yeah,
all that talk for to Carl coming in and them being so good, they came to Anfield, they beat us.
But then Els, look, if we focus on us, remember people were saying this is the worst title defense in history.
That's what we said.
And we ended up with less points difference than City did last year between us and them.
So these are the thing is, like, we saw a comment on Twitter with someone saying, we're getting all up in arms while we moan. I mean, you told us, we didn't tell you, you told us it was the worst title defense in history in about March. The season hasn't finished yet. So
we're saying it in like November.
The season hasn't finished yet, and you're coming to us to tell us. But now we have rebutted you. It's all like, oh wow, you're getting your knickers in a twist. Not really. Let the season finish. I mean, again, like you said, Harold, we finished with a closer gap, okay, albeit by 1 point than Man City. Man City only had 5 points more than they had last season. So, like, to come and say that it was the worst title defense is madness. But yeah, to go to what you're saying, Krish, to finish third when we have been absolutely, our heads have been kettled. We've had about 50 million different centre back partnerships. No Van Dijk.
Was it the thing they said on Sky? It was the 26th different centre back pairing.
26 different pairing, and you finish third with that. Yeah, Klopp's a genius for that. Yeah, and it just shows that the level in the league. Like, you lot are not really good, man. You're not really good. Man United, they could. I think the rhetoric was, they could challenge Man City next season if they get this, that.
I was hearing 21 in 21. Unconfirmed reports about 21 in 21.
Yeah, boy. Let's say about the bell. But yeah, apparently if they get like a striker, they can be closer to Man City next season. And this, that, you only finish 5 points ahead of us. Like, come on, man. Everything's all premature. Like, but yeah, like I said, when we get the big dogs back, everything, nature will restore itself and everything will go back to normal.
Yeah,
Love it. Pete, Pete, I'm going to come to you, kind of piggybacking off what Ellis said there. And it's kind of going off the rest of the league not being as good as we kind of assumed they were. United, again, you kind of look at it, they've been quite impressive in some areas, but then you kind of look at it really deep into the stats. They've not actually been that good as we all thought they are. Chelsea, again, that Villa game really showed me, I don't know about you guys, that they are some way away from being where they want to be. They've still got some depth issues, and it really showed the gaps where you could exploit them. Leicester, well, Brendan Rodgers is just funny, isn't he? Not to say we told you so, but we did tell you so. Give Farhi his flowers for that one. And we're not even going to bother mentioning Spurs and Arsenal because Roberto Martinez and Arteta are still at the club. So in terms of for going through for next season, this third place finish, do you think this gives us more of a platform to kind of just go on and blow these teams out of the water even more?
Yeah, for sure. I think this third place finish should give the team a lot of confidence in terms of the fact that these guys were still our players are still a lot better than most of the other clubs' players. Like when we talk about Trent, when we talk about Robertson, when we talk about Thiago, Fabinho, Salah, Mane, it shows that when they turn it up, it's peak for you, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even without the likes of Van Dijk, Gomez, Henderson, you know what I'm saying? And whoever's going to come in. So this run that we went on, it shows what the team can really do when they turn it up. I think, what we did 8 wins, 2 draws, you know what I'm saying? And this was crunch time. This was really crunch time to see, okay, let's see if we can get top 4, you know what I'm saying? And they've done it. So it's only it's simple maths, you know what I'm saying? So the team should only really get stronger when you have the likes of Van Dijk and Cole coming back in. So therefore, we should get more points, you know what I'm saying? So you're telling me with, I don't know, Phillips, who was playing in the Bundesliga 2 last season, and Reece Williams playing in conference last season, that we managed to finish third, 5 points behind the best season Manchester United have ever had since Ferguson left. You know what I'm saying? So 5 points behind, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Imagine when the boys come back, you know what I'm saying? I mean, supposedly strengthened. We should definitely be challenging and are much closer to Man City. So, again, the boys should be really confident going into next season, and the momentum should really kick in. And hopefully we have a good window. That's what we need to have. That's really important. So in terms of selling deadwood and getting in the right players, and yeah, definitely we can definitely kick on from a strong finish. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. And added on top of it, we're back. Another season in the Champions League, another season where we can go one step further beyond than we were this season. Hopefully, semi-finals and beyond in that competition. Thank the Lord. After seeing that list of teams that were in the Europa Conference League that were not in that, and the fact that there was an airport behind one of the stadiums, hopefully someone doesn't balloon a shot and delay someone's flight to Verdansk. Yeah, it's peak. It's peak for some people in that league.
And also, sorry, Krish, I think Klopp deserves a lot of credit as well, because I was the first one to get onto him when I was saying that he's out of form and that he's making bad decisions. He's making weird subs. He's playing. And
the thing is as well, sorry to interrupt you, Pete.
Sure.
Those are fair criticisms as well, because there was a long stretch for about 6 weeks where he was making weird subs and just some weird tactical tweaks. And you're thinking, well, what are you really doing?
When I remember with one pod where he was he brought Chamberlain on because it didn't make sense footballing reason wise, but he had a good attitude, and I lost my head. I lost my head. I was just so emotionally invested. Obviously, I'm so emotionally invested in the club, so I lost my head when he said that. But the players, he's really come back into form, and he started to make the right decisions. He realized, I think, the Newcastle game, that Fabinho has to play centre mid or CDM, sorry, and centre back to play at centre back. You know what I'm saying? So he corrected these wrongs. You know what I'm saying? Everyone makes mistakes. He corrected these wrongs, and we had a strong finish. So credit to Klopp for adjusting these mistakes, and credit to the players as well for finding form, and Klopp for finding form as well.
Going to move on to the next part of the pod. We're going to talk about Georginio Wijnaldum, Liverpool legend. I think you can debate that point as much as you want. In my opinion, I think he's a Liverpool legend. He 5 very successful seasons at the club, achieved everything he came, saw and conquered, did it all. And yeah, it's quite emotional seeing it being his last game for Liverpool. And Harold, I'm going to let you start off. how much do you think he'll be missed by this Liverpool team, and just his function in the squad more than anything?
Yeah, he definitely will be missed. One thing that we do Gini credit for, as much as we criticize him for a few other things, one thing we give him credit for is the fact that he's always there. He's ever present in our midfield. Whenever you need him, he's there to turn to. Always available. Probably one of our most durable players that we've ever had. Honestly, definitely most durable player under Klopp's reign. He's definitely Mr. Reliable in that sense. We will miss him. He's Mr. Big Game. He loves a big game. He loves the lights. He loves that fresh trim, Gucci'd out, Gucci Genie. Like, he looks fresh and ready.
Spotify playlist on point.
Honestly, like he absolutely loves it. Second half against Barcelona, absolutely he lives for those moments. He is a big game player. That's one thing I have to give him a lot of credit for. And I think, as much as I wouldn't personally say that he goes down as a legend, I wouldn't say that, because I would have reserved I would have that title for the Gerrards of this world. The who else can I think of even falls in that range? Robbie Fowler, Jamie Carragher, etc. I would keep that title for him. I'd say probably one below that, wherever that may be. Some people call it an icon, wherever that is for you guys. That's for me personally. It is a bit sad the way he's going out, just because of his comments that he said. That last one liner is a bit like, he left me with a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. I would like it to have been on more amicable terms for sure. But he's a fantastic sport. He has been great for us, and yeah, we're forever in his debt. Thank you so much, Georginio Wijnaldum. Maybe it was just time for him to part ways. But yeah, I think if you just in terms of just his special hour, I think he deserves all the praise. And we're gonna need to find some sort of big game player like Gini, who's also going to be ready to play every single week in, week out, even in a COVID season where we're playing like every 48 hours. So yeah, kudos to you, my man.
Pete, I'm going to bring you on the conversation here. I know you're a big fan of Wijnaldum, as I've found out in the past 2 weeks. How much are you going to miss him?
Pete just likes drip. I can't lie to you.
I respect it, man. Yeah,
Pete just likes drip.
I like reliable players.
Do you like Benzema?
Yeah, I love Benzema.
Even after he scored 5 goals in a season, yeah? You didn't mind, did you?
Benzema.
I don't like Nicolas Pepe though, so you know what I'm saying. Let's cool down. Let's cool down.
All right. For now, yeah. For now, let's say that.
But when he turns up in a Palm Angels tracksuit, we will see on Pete's opinion then.
Yeah, let's just touch on Gini. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Gini, just in terms of like, he's just so reliable. Like when I see Gini's name on the team sheet, I just skip past it. Like, I don't think of anything like, bloody hell, Gini's playing, or like I'm scared of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it fills me with confidence. That's what I want as a fan. I want to see a name on the team sheet and just be like, yeah, cool, Gini's playing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when man sees certain names on the team sheet, I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure.
Nah, name names, you know. Go on.
Krish was blood today. When I see a certain Naby, you know what I'm saying? When I see a certain Naby today, it's like, what's going to turn up? Is it going to be Real Madrid Naby, or is it going to be, you know what I'm saying, Bournemouth a couple of years ago Naby? But yeah, when I see Gini's name on the team sheet, like, it fills me with confidence in terms of, I know he's not going to give below a 5 or 6 out of 10 performance, and he's just reliable. He's played, like, I was looking at his appearances. He's had literally every season over 33, over 34 appearances every single season. Like,
it's wild.
One of Klopp's most trusted soldiers. He's always in that midfield, and you won't find a more press-resistant midfielder. You won't find a midfielder who will do Klopp's like biddings. You know what I'm saying? When Klopp tells him to do something, he'll do it. When Klopp wants him to cover Robertson, he'll do it. When Klopp wants him to go forward, he'll do it. I remember you guys remember he played false 9 against Barcelona the first leg. Obviously, it didn't go well, but he played false 9.
He actually played all right as the false 9 as well. Like, the game didn't go the way we thought it, but he was all right.
And then there was one game against Stoke as well. He played left centre back. You remember that?
Yeah.
With Emery Chan, he played left centre back.
No, that was Brighton.
Oh, was it Brighton? Okay,
yeah.
Brighton. So he played left. He played in the centre back 3 as well. So, he's just Mr. Reliable. He's ever constant, and yeah, I proper like Gini, man. He's a good character to have around a club. Someone like Curtis again. I think Curtis Jones really likes him. Curtis Jones has learned a lot from him, and yeah, I think we're gonna miss him a lot. My thing is that with Gini is that I think a lot of fans will say this is because he doesn't break the lines and he doesn't score enough goals. But like, how many midfielders in the Premier League do we actually think break lines? It's not a lot. Like, this is a really special
You
trait.
you can count them on your hand.
So you're looking like your Pogba, your Thiago, Ndombele, De Bruyne.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? There's like less than 10. There's less than 10 midfielders probably in the Premier League that can really break lines in proper tight spaces. You know what I'm saying? So it's a special trait to have. I don't beat Gini with the stick for not having it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just think he's a solid midfielder. You know what I'm saying? And what's it called? I'm really satisfied. I'm really happy with the time he's had at the club. And good luck to him and his move.
All I will say is that it needs to be a bloody good replacement that Liverpool have got lined up when you think about how important he is and how crucial he is to the way that we play. Mentions of Yves Bissouma at Brighton, Ryan Gravenberch at Ajax in terms of who could do stylistically the water carrying and a lot of the load bearing, like a good beam in your house. In terms of what he does for that, that was a good Holmes under the hammer joke for you there.
I appreciate that.
and Els, I'm going to come to you, kind of piggybacking off what both Harold and Peter have said. We do kind of complain about his lack of goals, especially seeing Orange, Gini playing for the Netherlands. But we do have to say he's delivered in so many key moments, and I was listening to the Anfield rap earlier, and they were kind of talking about how many just the wide array of big moments he's had in Liverpool shirt. How clutch has he really been for Liverpool in his past 5 years?
Yeah, he's big clutch, man. Big clutch from when he first came into the league. I think we beat Man City. No, not league. I mean, to Liverpool, we beat Man City at home. He scored the winning header. Obviously, Champions League semi-finals. He's bagged up two wonderful goals. Big games. He's a clutch player, man. Obviously, my problem with Gini was that, like, I'm a type of person, if I know a player has a certain amount of quality in their locker, I expect a bit more. So when he doesn't deliver a few more goals, or when he misses chances where I think a man of his technique and his quality, he should do better. Do you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't take away from what he does and who he is. Like Pete said, when his name's on the team sheet, I'm calm because I know, Gini's there. I'm easy, bro. There's only a few certain players like Gini, Hendo, obviously Thiago, Fabinho. These man, when their name's on the team sheet, I'm all right. Like, I'm not okay. At least Gini's there. Do you know what I'm saying? When we go through like some injury drought and you got to play random, I was like, Gini's there, so it's all right in it. So we've got somebody there in it. So we're gonna miss him a lot. Fahy made a point of saying that there's gonna be like 5 games next season where we're gonna be like, we could have done with Gini there just because of his tactical awareness, his strength, his technical ability, and just being reliable, really. And what I like about Gini also is someone that he doesn't really pick up yellow cards, nor does he pick up red cards. So it shows you that a player's, one, he's responsible, 2, he's aware of his responsibility to the team. Tactically, again, he's very aware. So if we are to replace him, that person has to be really, really good. And he has some very big boots to fill because, Gini is a trusted soldier, man.
And he served us well in the wars that we fought as player and supporter. I mean, just thinking about some of the big moments he's had. I mean, obviously Barcelona is the one that sticks out in memory. But you think about the goal he scores away at Roma, his first away goal in the Liverpool shirt. It's a massive goal. The goal against Middlesbrough to kind of fire us into the Champions League, real crowning moment. There's even like little moments where we play Spurs away the season after they absolutely gave us a hiding at Wembley, and he scores the first goal. There's just so many great key moments like that. The header against Manchester City, that springboarding header where he leaps like a magnificent gazelle, turning to David Attenborough there. But he's just come up with so many of these big defining moments in Liverpool shirt, and it's a real shame that he's left the club. And Harold, I'm going to come back to you on this because you mentioned it earlier on. His statement about leaving, it struck me, and I think it struck you in the same way. It was a little bit odd. Because it really sounded like he wanted to stay, and he was, this has been the best 5 years of my life. I'm going to miss it here. And he made a point of saying that it's a shame how things have ended. People deserve to know the entire story. And he made a very specific note to say that I haven't got an agreement with another club. That he's been focusing on this season, he's been giving it his all. Did that strike you as just be really odd?
No, it did strike me as odd. I'm not surprised at that at all, actually. I think you could tell by his demeanor throughout the season when they were asking him about whether he's going to extend his contract. A few times he was the leading man in the team, and you can see when he ever had any of those press conferences, which were few and far between, they asked him about his career, and he would always be a bit coy about it. Even last season, actually, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of last season, obviously, he was celebrating the title, and he was very quick to say, "Look, I don't want to talk about my career." I was like, "Okay, fair enough." Obviously, you're celebrating the Premier League, fair dues. This year comes about, and he's still giving quite similar answers. I'm not too surprised from that. I think you can always tell when things are not left on the best of terms. From like I can see a stark difference between his interviews and the interviews that Emre Can gave, for instance. You can see that. And obviously it came out early in that season with Emre Can that he was obviously moving to Bayern. Fair enough. So I mean, what was it? Was it even Bayern? Am I going mad? It was Bayern.
Juve.
Juve. No, wait, is it Juve? Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
My bad. Wow, I said Bayern. Yeah. Anyway, I think I said Bayern because of that's where Gini's been heavily linked, isn't it? So I'm not too surprised by that. It does leave. I was hoping not. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. I guess I'm just a very cynical man, but. It did leave a bit of taste in my mouth. I was a bit like, oh, like, I know all the admin on our Twitter accounts, like, oh, look, Liverpool legend this, Liverpool legend that. It's like, well, if you treated him like a legend, he wouldn't be leaving. Like, let's keep it a buck. So it's just a bit. I mean, the sign off is lovely. They gave him like a nice little plaque of the Champions Wall that they have. I mean, well done, like definitely deserved. But I just wish it was on more favorable terms for both parties as opposed to just one. So yeah, it definitely was odd. But I think we have to remember football is a business. We just have to remember that. And it's cutthroat. It's cutthroat, man. And like, honestly, when it comes to money, that's when people really show if they're backing you or not. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case this time. So yeah, I just like the energy to being kept. Don't go calling the man a legend and this and that, but he didn't really make enough effort to treat him like one when it came to these contract negotiations. But anyway, that's just me. I'm a very cynical, skeptical man, but I have to do it. It's my job.
I completely agree. Sorry, Ellis. Yeah, I think it's just an odd one because I think he's been a real victim of circumstance more than anything. He's going to be 31 as he goes into his next contract. And it might be just a case of, he's the first kind of player who hasn't been extended. So it's kind of just like a bit of a necessary sacrifice to kind of get the other guys across the line. But yeah, it is a bit of an odd one when you do think about it. Sorry, I'll do continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, obviously I hear what you're saying, Harold, but again, like you said, Krish, it was a bit of a circumstance thing where, from what we heard, he wants to be paid on a level of the top players in the club, which is fair. But I think him coming into 31, and I think Liverpool weren't sure as to what they might get in the next year, because it's like someone being so dependent, he could just get one injury and that's just it. You're giving someone 200 grand a week and he's always unfit and he's always injured. Do you know what I'm saying? And him being 31. So I saw it from both parties, to be quite honest with you. I saw it from Liverpool's point of view and I saw it from Gini's point of view, because Gini is very reliable. Gini's the number 4 captain in the club. So surely you should pay him as well. But surely there could have been a compromise to be made. Maybe he didn't feel the compromise. He didn't like it. So we're at a point where he's done 5 years. To do 5 years in this day and age is a good feat, man. And once you've done what you've done, you've won the league, Champions League. Yeah, man. What more do you want? I think it's just a natural way to end it. Obviously, we would like him to stay, but it's just a natural. Sometimes you can stay 5 years too long. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it is hard, isn't it? You think like, he's given a lot, and I thought it was just going to get to the point where both parties were just gone, you know what, this is a year extension and we can kind of see it out. You can kind of have that final season without fans, because it's nice that he's kind of got that final day send off, because you look at some of the players who didn't get it. We didn't get to, say what you will about the man, but we didn't get to give Dejan Lovren a good send off. We didn't get to give Adam Lallana the send off he deserves. Those guys didn't get that moment because obviously he was behind closed doors and everything. So yeah, even if you just extend his contract and say, you know what, after after 1 year, we'll move you on to wherever you want to go. But I mean, look, it really annoys. I think it's annoyed me more. Actually, I think it's annoyed me more than Peter. Honestly, that you saw kind of some of the stuff that the kid came out, saying when he got his kind of procession and stuff at the end, where people were saying, "Good riddance, get out of my club," blah 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 blah, and all of that. And it's just that kind of stuff isn't warranted. When he's given so much of his energy, his heart, and his desire to the club. And you see the caliber of teams that are after him now. Your PSGs of the world, your Bayern Munichs, your Barcelonas, all of those guys value, and they want Georginio Wijnaldum on board for the next phases of their projects as well. So it just goes to show you how highly regarded he is in world football as well. But yeah, again, from everyone here at Kop End Fracas, I can only say, Georginio Wijnaldum, thank you very much for all of those 5 fantastic years that you gave to Liverpool Football Club and everything you helped us achieve during those 5 years as well. And you will be missed. The number 5 shirt will be a heavy one to fill. Speaking of filling shirts, let's talk about a little bit of transfer stuff. This has been bloody rumoured for God knows how long now. It feels like it's been rumoured for about 2 months. Ibrahima Konate seems to be drawing ever closer to becoming a Liverpool player. So as we do say hello or bonjour to one person incoming, we have to say goodbye to someone else. And it would appear that Liverpool aren't taking the option to sign Ozan Kabak. What do you guys think about the decision to bring Konate into the club? I mean, we've had conversations about this before. Els, I'll start with you. Do you think this is a wise and shrewd investment?
From his profile, yes, he looks like a player that will fit in. What is he, like 6'5"? He's quick, strong, good in the air, good footballer, something that's to bring it out. He's almost a Matip replacement who's a bit quicker from what I can see. So yeah, it looks like it is a very good, shrewd pickup from Liverpool. I've seen a lot of comments about him. I listened to a brief comment on Twitter. Someone was saying that he has the potential to be a world-class player. So it's everything that we've wanted, or everything that we do want, in the team. There's nothing wrong with having 4 or 5 quality players in one position, because as you've seen this season, mate, it gets a bit techy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, again, when we done our list of centre-backs that we want for our Patreon piece I was going to say last season. It was only last.
It feels like it was.
Yeah, I'm saying it was only last winter. He was a name that popped up, and it's a name that we talk about. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him come in. Hopefully, the deal goes through. But obviously, with Kabak Kabak leaving, I know he's a player that you generally admire, Krish. How do you feel about
that? No, I get it from certain points of view. I think in terms of a long-term prospect, he's better for me stylistically than a Nat Phillips or a Reece Williams. I think he's got more room to grow. It might be a case of them trying to take up a little bit of a less of an option in terms of the fee for him. Obviously, it is 18 million plus add-ons, so it might be something that comes to around 20 million. And Schalke need the money now, but yeah, I mean, you see how Nat Phillips has kind of ended this season. He has ended quite strongly, but you've got to give him his dues and his kudos on that. So, look, I go back to the Bible here, and I look at the binding of Isaac. God told Abraham to sacrifice his only son, and Abraham has to comply. So, I mean, if Kabak has to go to allocate funds to another player coming in of a higher quality. Sometimes you have to kind of take the L's on this, but no, I mean it is a little bit shit because you saw his excitement obviously coming to the club. There's a little bit of revisionist history now from kind of journalists and stuff saying that he was only an emergency option, blah 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 blah. When we know for a fact that he was linked as a permanent option that summer, and he's been tracked for a while. So it is what it is from that end. But yeah, a bit of an odd one. I do think for the fee, if you can get the fee lowered down, if it's mind games or a negotiation tactic that the guys are trying, the team are trying to do to get him in, fair play. But I think to let him go and potentially not cash in on Nat Phillips when his value at the moment is his highest possible peak, would be a bit silly. But Pete, what do you think about it? What do you think about the decision to let Kabak go?
Yeah, I can see it, to be honest, just in terms of obviously Konate coming in. That is the number one choice in terms of coming in. So I think there's not a better profile that suits us in terms of playing on the very high line, being aerially dominant, bring out the ball. Like, I don't think there's a profile that suits us more in football as a centre back in terms of Konate's profile. Let's just hope that he doesn't get injured again. But with Kabak, I think, you know what, Kabak, you're right, to be honest. Like, Kabak suits us more than Phillips. So in terms of Kabak is able to, I think he's pretty decent with his feet. He's quite decent in the air. He's a bit faster than Phillips. He does suit us more than Phillips. But my thing is that, like, I think 18 million, I think it's just a bit too much to spend on your fifth choice centre back. So obviously we still have Matip there. We still have Van Dijk, Gomez, and obviously bringing Konate. And as a fifth choice centre back, although I think the fifth choice centre back will get a lot of games because we've got about 3 centre backs who'll come back from injury. I think 18 million is just a bit too much. So if he was getting them for less than 10 million, I'll be like, cool, you know what I'm saying, bringing Kabak. But as we've already got a competent centre back who, if he's happy to be fifth place with Nat Phillips, then just let him be fifth place and allocate the funds elsewhere, like you said. So I think Kabak's done well enough to get a move elsewhere. If it's to RB or it's to another, even Leicester, you know what I'm saying? Those are big teams. So he really shouldn't be like gutted that he can't get moved to Liverpool because those are big teams that he'll play in, week out, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can keep Phillips and he's able to be fifth place, you know what I'm saying? He's happy to be fifth place. So I think with Phillips as well, I've got to give him credit because he's pretty different to all the centre backs that we have already in terms of, like, he's really, really happy with people just flinging it in and heading it out and being like physically dominant. So he's really happy to be on the front foot and just, you know what I'm saying, deal with physically dominant strikers, you know what I'm saying? So we haven't really got a centre back like that. I think the closest we've got like that is to like Van Dijk, but Van Dijk, even he's still a very cool customer, you know what I'm saying? So having one centre back who's really front footed, and you know, in the last 10 minutes of the game, when people bring on your likes of like Ashley Barnes and Chris Woods, we can also bring on a Phillips, you know what I'm saying? So you can have that option there. So, but yeah, no, I think Kabak, he done well, man. But yeah, sometimes just doesn't work out.
Sometimes you have to fight Brexit with Brexit, as you said there, Pete. I completely agree. I do agree. I think if Schalke are in a position where they need the money now, obviously being relegated into the Bundesliga too, and if there's a deal there to be had where we kind of just give them £10 million up front, one payment, I think they'd happily take it to reinvest in the other areas of their squad. And speaking of investing in other areas of the squad. What do you guys preferably want to see Liverpool do this summer? What key areas do you want to see addressed? Obviously, we can safely say that centre back has been boxed off at this point. And Els, I'll come to you first. What are the key areas that you want to see Liverpool really target and strengthen this upcoming summer?
With Gini going, we need to bolster up our central midfield with a quality attacking midfielder. Somebody who's going to get some goals. Somebody who's going to be a bit different. We do that. I know we've been linked with Bissouma. I like him. I do really like Bissouma, but I want something a bit different from our midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have, let's say we have like a Thiago. We have I was about to say Gini then. Thiago, Hendo, Fabinho. I mean, these are all sensible midfielders who can play disciplined roles. We just need someone else who's gonna, take the handbrake off a bit and go forward. Obviously, if rumours are to be believed, Naby might be leaving the club, so that's a player that we might have to replace, and someone who can do a job attacking wise. Obviously, Curtis Jones is going to get more minutes. There's a player in there to get at least 5-6 goals. He's a player that he's very progressive, tries to get the ball to the box as quick as possible. So that's going to be nice to see. But yeah, I would rather us spend money on a creative midfielder who can get the ball from deep, beat a couple man, either shoot or bring in the attackers to play. And I'm very, very pressed, and we have to get a forward. We must get a forward. If we can't get two, we're going to have to get one elite forward. who can play left or right, because we need to take the burden off the Manes and the Salahs of this world. Ideally, I would like a centre forward and a winger, because we don't have any one-on-one players. But with Harvey Elliott coming back, I believe he's going to get some minutes in there. So we do need another forward, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's a central midfielder and a forward, which is high of priority for me.
Pete, what about yourself?
Yeah, I completely agree. You know what? I'm kind of, before I was really like high on Basuma, but I'm kind of like, I'm still high on him, but like it's kind of going down a little bit, just in terms of the fact that I think we're still going to have the same problems that like people complain of Gini of, and I think, to be honest, I think Gini's probably a bit better attacking wise than Basuma. So I think Gini's probably a bit better in terms of going forward, finishing off chances. I do think Basuma has a lovely strike on him. He has a lovely long strike, but I don't really see him in advanced positions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he would cope to playing as
He's not a guy. He's not a guy that you're going to see pop up in the 18-yard box.
Yeah. But obviously that's the way Graham Potter plays him. I know Graham Potter, he kind of plays in a really like structured system, so everyone has to do what Graham Potter says, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I don't know how Basuma would adapt to playing as an 8. But obviously I do like the idea of Basuma, but I'm more in the camp of getting someone who's able to contribute as being on the ball, maybe creating chances. If they can't create chances, then taking chances, you know what I'm saying? They need to contribute with G+A contributions next season in terms of getting a centre mid that can do that. And obviously, like, you have the likes of maybe like Awar, Kessie, people like the players like that who hopefully can contribute to the attack. But yeah, so centre mid, if you can't get 2, then just get 1 who can contribute to the attack. A forward, so I've always said I like Rafinha. Obviously, Sancho might be out of our price bracket. I'm not sure if he is or not. And a 9, hopefully. Do you know what? I kind of want a fullback, you know, but a fullback that actually can play. So in getting these like Costas and like Robertson played 38 out of 38 Premier League games, like that's just not acceptable. Another year of playing every single game in the campaign, like poor guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the best we can do is bring on a bloody Milner to fill in that left back, you know what I'm saying, for him. Like it's getting a bit ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Like we're so fortunate that he's not picking up injuries. Like, have you seen it with Harry Maguire? Harry Maguire, he's played so many games that literally now he picked up an injury, you know what I'm saying? And he's trying to play in his final, but he's only got 1 leg. You know what I'm saying? And we're so fortunate that Robertson is so durable. We need another fullback that can play. So, yeah, I think that it's not as high as a centre mid and a striker, but I think that should be in our priorities as well.
No, I completely agree. And listen, you guys are going to get the opportunity to simulate. Aren't you lucky? You guys are going to get the opportunity to simulate Liverpool's upcoming transfer window with the Patreon exclusive transfer game. This is something that we did last year and it went down really well. And it's something we'll be repeating again this upcoming summer. The teams have been done. So I'm looking forward to sharing them in the next week or so. But yeah, the concept of transfer game is I give the guys a specified amount of money. Not going to say how much it is because I want them to hear it out of my mouth first. They get to sell whichever players they deem as sellable. They get a percentage of that fee. They get an overall transfer spend that they can go into the market and bring in who they want. And it's always interesting seeing the different approaches of who people want to get out the door and who they bring in, really, in terms of different philosophies, you know, and the key focus areas for Liverpool to improve on. And, you know, with this year, there's some more twists and turns with what happens. So there's some interesting scenarios that do come out if the guys select specific players. And that, again, that is a Patreon exclusive where you'll be able to listen to that exclusively from us here at Kop End Fracas. So do head over to www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas and subscribe for as little as £3 a month. I was going to say a day then. That's not right. We were charging £3 a day, bloody hell. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting season, to say the least. A long slog. I think we can comfortably say that, Els and Pete. And I want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to host this pod for this season. There's been some low moments. The Aston Villa 7-2 comes to mind, where we basically had a post-mortem live on the pod. That was rough. We had Ellis saying, you know, opponents legislating for the outcome of the game when we drew to Everton and all the injuries happened. But no, man, it's been a fun season. It's been it's a fun season. It's been a weird season, but it's been fun to comment and talk about with the guys on a weekly basis. And we're not going to stop there. All throughout the summer, we'll be kind of commenting on everything going on Liverpool FC wise. The pods probably won't be as long as they are today, but rest assured, you'll get your Kop End Fracas fix on a weekly basis. And most importantly, I want to thank you guys, valued listeners and watchers on YouTube, for sticking with us for the journey. And again, like we did say, I had some bumpy rides and weird twists and turns, but ultimately we got there in the end and we secured Champions League football for yet another season and somehow finished third, which is still funny. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and listening and being such valued listeners to us here at Kop End. We really appreciate you and all the help and support you give us. But that has been your final main Kop End Fracas episode for the 2020-2021 season. I've been your host, Krish. I've been joined by Ellis, Peter, and Harold for this week's episode. We'll be back next week with some more transfer talk, some more interesting concepts and stuff we'll be coming up with. But again, if you want a bit more of an in-depth and intimate review with the guys, end of season reviews, strategies, transfers, AOB, we've got really good interviews planned for this summer as well. And the only place to be for that content is the Patreon page. So again, that is www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas. The link is in the description in the pod below and in the YouTube description as well. But that has been your Kop End Fracas for this week. We'll see you soon.
Safe.
Peace.